Greetings to your readers, viewers, and listeners, and welcome to this special live edition of the Autistic SuperBlog's The Hot Take. This one is going to be a little bit different. I know all my hot takes are, but in this particular case, you might notice by the title, it's all about an artist's resolve. Um, One of the things I have to explain is that October is always a tough month for me because usually it requires me to look at the people that I've lost during the year of October. There have been some times where I've gained some people, of course, and without those people, I would not be the person that I am. Um, I think of two people in particular, um, two SUNY Ulster professors, and I should say that one's a professor, the other one was a librarian over at SUNY Ulster that I've mentioned a lot on previous editions on the Autistic SuperBlog's Hot Take and on the Autistic SuperBlog too. Um, one person, Larry Berk by name, was a tremendous help to me as an artist. He was someone that really adopted me and made me realize as a college student, as an autistic college student, that there was nothing that I needed to worry about when it came to expressing expressing the person that I am, and expressing the individual I am, especially with all my quirks, with all my challenges of being a college student. Sometimes people may not realize that, hey, college life is tough, and it is. Imagining having autism on top of that. So, yeah, it kind of made things a little bit easier to have someone that I could really talk to and really vent my feelings out and really vent my frustrations out and really vent my feelings towards and know that I was being listened to. That kind of made his passing 16 months, 16 years actually to the day, it rattled me. As it can, as I can imagine, it would rattle most of my friends, or most of you or most of you, dear readers and viewers, because you guys, there's always been that person that's always driven you to be better than who you are. I mean, there's always been those mentors that have taken you under their wing and basically made you realize that you are something special. And Larry was one of those people. So, and I know I mentioned it before, but I have to take a time out to to kind of say thank you to not only to him, but also to the people at SUNY Ulster, especially the the people at the McDonald's Library over at SUNY Ulster. The individuals that I know there are top notch. They're phenomenal. And when my friend Pat, maybe I should explain why they mean so much to me, because Larry was a librarian over at SUNY Ulster, and I'll bring I'll share something that his son shared with me in the comments or in the description below. But I want to just explain that Larry made the arts seem accessible. He made the arts seem like they weren't the typical archetype that you possibly get when it comes to artists. Usually, you think of artists, you think about poor, starving artists, and some of that's true. But one person in particular, and I'll get to that in a minute, made me realize just how enriching being an artist is. And I can only thank my friend Larry for that. And I'll get to the library. When when he passed away, people realized that I was an emotional wreck. Those that were close to me knew that I was a wreck. And the people at the McDonald's Library of SUNY Ulster, who I am so grateful for, basically adopted me into their family. And it's something that I'll always treasure. Always. Um, it's kind of the reason why I feel like I have this legacy to uphold, and I hope I do it well. Um, which also gets me to another person that's from SUNY Ulster. a gentleman by the name of Dr. Tom Davis. I mean, he was someone that made philosophy feel fun. He was someone that made philosophy feel accessible. Another person who made life who made things more accessible to me as a person on the spectrum. So for me, I was kind of happy with this, which only made it even worse when I found out that he passed away due to a stroke. And considering it was something that happened really suddenly, uh, I mean, October was already a bad month for me. Well, it was already a tough month for me, but to know that that happened 2 times in a row, it was kind of made me feel like Happy Gilmore. Like, um, you really wanted to stay away from me if October came, because people would know that I'm distracted. People know that I'm not at the top of my game, which I always try to be. But he was someone that actually really understood me and really made things easy for me to understand when it comes to philosophy. And I'll always have him to thank on that. Always. Um, to go for SUNY Ulster, when I went to my graduation, to kind of give a bit of a cliff note to this, um, the McDonald's Wit Library actually wrote as I was going to my graduation in the library, because the library was right there at the ceremony where the graduation was going to take place, and I don't know who it was, um, but even though they couldn't be there physically, they still decided to write messages on the board in support of me, and that's something I'll always treasure. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone at SUNY Ulster, including the McDonald's Wit family. You guys are my library family. Hashtag library family. Which kind of makes me bring to another point, recent events. As you may have heard, as you may have seen on the Autistic SuperBlog, one of my one of my dearest friends, my adopted mom, Carol Zaloom, passed away. To say that she was a treat would be an understatement. I always felt like, even if I was at work or even if I was at other places and I saw them, I feel like I could drop my guard. I feel like I could be myself. I didn't have to wear the mask that I often talk about numerous times. Um, I felt like I didn't have to. I feel like I didn't have to. I feel like I didn't have to wear the mask, figuratively speaking. Um, and it always made the artist studio tour always something that I always look forward to, because for me, it always made me feel like I was always going to be welcome at at the at the home of the poetic godfather of the Hudson Valley, Mikhail Horowitz, and Carol, to kind of make me feel like I was at home. Another person that I owe to Larry's credit. So that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. Kind of makes me realize just the legacy that I have to uphold when it comes to being an artist. It's kind of the reason why I branched out on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff and all social media. I want to be able to make sure that my voice is heard. It makes me realize just how much my voice needs to be heard, and others like me. Because we all have our stories to tell. We all have our feelings. We all have our stories. We all have our quirks. We all have our resolve to be better people. And I guess, if anything, this October has really made me realize, not only do I have a legacy to uphold as an artist, but also that I have something to contribute as an artist. And that I feel like I should do things to make people realize that I'm that my name, my feelings, my worth, my stories mean something. And that's always something that I'll always think to, God rest all of them, Dr. Tom Davis, God rest his soul, Larry Berk, and God rest her soul, Carol Saloom. So that's kind of my whole thing about the artist resolve, and I plan to get more into that. I know I've been missing a lot when it comes to poetry packed out. Those are coming up soon, so be prepared for that. Um, Also, letters for Lent are also are the Advent Hope are other things that I have in mind when it comes to certain things that I want to get into when it comes to what I can do as an artist, because I feel like it's something that I feel needs to be addressed. I feel like when it comes to, I want to be able to make sure that my feelings mean a lot. Um, I want to be able to make sure that my feelings mean so much to other people. So, what I'm planning to do is to get my. I want to be able to make sure I share this with everyone here, just so people get an idea of the person my friend that my late mentor was, so you guys can see him. It comes from a. It comes from people. It comes from a YouTube channel, Shonen Joan, Shon Shohonen Joan. Maybe I got the pronunciation wrong. I'm sorry, but it's all. But it's all in the But it's all in the description. But it's all in the comments, and I'll leave it in the description below. So if you guys want to check it out, please, please, please feel free to check out Chon John. And if you want to check out uh, uh, any of my other videos, you can check me out on the Autistic SuperBlog.wordpress.com. You can check me out on the Autistic Super channel, and you can check out all my videos as well as what I'm doing on the Autistic SuperBlog.wordpress.com. So thank you guys for for hearing me out. I want to say stay safe, stay strong, stay stay creative, and as always, shine on.